get up here in the Zoloft and get your head right.
All right, what's crack-a-lackin' head right, homies? Welcome to the Zoloft, your head right hangout. You know, your sane space from the Global Rubber Room. Hey, I hope it's Wednesday, February 5th, 2005. I hope it is all the way live for y'all. Can I get a witness? It's like, so you paused because you look like you were about to fart or something like that. And we're gonna talk about farts. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not like was it an article or it's just something that was just going on and we just kind of picked up on it, like some woman just harassing her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend with some cyber fart. I don't know.
A new phrase.
Yeah, it's a new phrase and a new craze. It's you know you want to like stick it to your new lover's ex or whichever. Send them videos of you farting. some selfie action of the flatulent kind. All right, so anyway, that's probably about as much as I want to talk about that. we might get into it a little deeper. Right?
You have to read the article.
All right. That being said, let's go ahead and see what's on the menu. What is on the menu for us to talk about today? We got. Come on, man. Where you at? We got mostly peaceful mob that gathered outside the US Treasury to call for Elon Musk arrest. Oh, and let me ask this, man, before I even get started, because I keep forgetting to ask, because y'all had mentioned it, and really quick, what is this, a Wookie ever? Was that Rick Jobber? What you put in there? Wookie ear? I don't know what that's supposed to say. I gotta be careful, man. People come on here and think I'm trying to speak in tongues or something like that. But thank you so much for tuning in, and JVEC on the Instagrams, and thank you guys for tuning in on the YouTubes and on bronzeseparate.media.com. Speaking of which, y'all had mentioned, let me see, it helps to run your hands under hot water. What was I talking about that would offer that suggestion? I appreciate the suggestion. I'm sure because I was talking about farts, and is somehow running my hands under hot water, is that going to help? I don't know. Is it because, like I said, I was talking about farts. Can you see like into the future? Am I going to talk about something that warrants me running my hands under hot water or something like that? Anyway, inquiring minds want to know. But y'all were asking me about the chat role on my website, and I think the issue was it's too small, and I don't know if it was too small if you're using your desktops for it, or if it's too small on your mobile devices or whichever. Let me know what you think now, because I went in and I expanded the dimensions on it. Hopefully I created more space, for y'all's thumbs, to be able to work that chat role. Hopefully I've expanded to where the controls are more accessible. Let me know if it's working out better for you. See, please don't. Hey, Rick, I don't know where she was sending them fart selfies from. I don't know if she was in the shower or not. I guess we'll learn more as we look at the article. I think we're going to be talking about it, but I guess run your hands under hot water. I may still need some details as far as that goes. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get back into this business. So, mostly peaceful mob that gathered outside the US Treasury to call for Elon Musk arrest and the shutdown of the Senate. And then let's comb through the most unreal examples of how USAID was spending our money. Daniel Penny lands new job. Pete Hegseth announces best U.S. Army recruiting numbers in 15 years. New York bill would require criminal background checks to purchase 3D printers, y'all. Man, it's like you're gonna end up where you're gonna have to have a ID for everything. And speaking of which, I think when Trump was talking to representatives in California, basically talking to voters in California, he said we're going to require people in California to have voter IDs, and I'm like, Okay, yeah. People should have ID to vote. This just reminds me of this for some reason. I just had to get it off my chest. People need IDs to vote. But why are you promoting this narrative that there's this thing called voter ID?
Yeah.
Come on, Trump, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go with the leftist narrative on this, man. I'm trying to tell Republican voters, man, this is how they get you, man. This is how they get you. There's no such thing as voter ID. Okay? There's ID that you can vote with.
Yes.
All right? But there's no such thing as voter ID. And you make it, and it makes it look like this is like some racist scheme that Republicans want to impose, to have this voter ID that they can deny you of.
Yep.
Or saying that you have to have it. They'll say you have to have it to be able to vote, but we're not going to let you get it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, don't give the Democrats that. Look, if you live in any state, if you want to vote, if you can drive legally, guess what? That's your ID to vote with.
Yeah.
All right? You want to travel abroad or something like that? You got a passport? Come on now. Or if you can't get a driver's license, if your driver's license is suspended or whichever, you can still get a state ID.
Yes, everyone can get one.
Everybody can get one. It's kind of suggested that you do.
Yeah.
All right? But this thing called voter ID, there's no such thing. There's just like there's a certain criteria of identification that you have that's recognized. And like I said, that's your driver's license, your state ID, passport. Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need to go get this special thing called a voter ID that Republicans will say that you need to have while denying you would have it. You know who actually did stuff like that? That would be Democrats.
Yes.
Democrats are the ones who did stuff like that. All right, denying licenses to people of certain persuasions so they can enjoy their rights. All right, Democrats did that. So at any rate, I don't know. I just had that on my mind. I want to get that off my chest. This printer thing reminded me of that because when I think of the 3D printer thing, it makes me think of people trying to go and get with this stuff that they're putting on it. It makes me think of things like trying to go to the pharmacy. You just want to get some allergy medication.
Yes.
We'll talk about it. Man, it's people, man. You just got people out there who do stupid stuff, and because they do stupid stuff, we have to have laws put on us. Stupid laws for stupid acting people. Actually, in this case, for the meth addicts and stuff like that. In this case right here, it's like, people using printers to, exercise their Second Amendment. That's a different story. And these people in office who are making these policies, those things are stupid. Let's see. UK woman harasses boyfriend's, there it is. Harasses boyfriend's ex-partner by sending her fart files. All right. All right, so Super Bowl boycott. NFL commissioner doubles down. DEI makes NFL better. If you say so. All right. Okay, so let's back it on up. And this is coming from Not the Bee. Let's read a little bit of this stuff. Come on, man. I'm already screwing up here. It don't take me long. There's the email.
There's lots of farting going on in the chat.
Already. Can you text what a fart would sound like? And text different kinds of farts.
PFFT.
Oh, that's a dainty one. my farts go. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to the article. I want to get past all the time. Okay. Democratic members of Congress also gathered outside. Oh, it looks like I missed something here. Come on, man. Where does this thing start? The editorial says, is it just me, or does this sound a little bit like an insurrection? Yeah, if it looks like a duck, smells like a duck.
They were wanting to shut down the Senate.
Yeah, all right. Shut down the Senate, and why? Okay, whatever. You guys get the point. and trying to make sense of this stuff that these Democrats are doing and whatnot. It's like, man, you get dragged into their lunacy too, and you start losing IQ points. What do y'all want to shut down? What are you mad about? What are y'all so mad about, man? It's they're angry because of Elon Musk and Doge.
Yes.
Okay, and their gripe is, he's not a member of the government.
Correct.
And all that sort of stuff. Hey, you liberals who are mad about somebody being contracted to do a job for the government, dude, that's pretty much all. That's all the jobs in the government, man. You do understand that the government themselves, they don't facilitate these enterprises. All right, they don't facilitate the industries that they use. Like there's that these things are government factions. The things that the government uses, y'all, they're private entities. They contract private enterprises to do what they do, from aircraft to vehicles to weapons. The things for communication. Devices. Those things they contract people to make those things. Engineered for what it is for their purposes. All right. And Doge is no different. Okay. We're talking about having somebody come in and is going to go and basically give the IRS an audit. That's what's happening to the IRS, man. They're getting
wonderful.
They're getting audited. All right. Why are you mad? Why are you mad about that? Oh, it's what is it that the IRS and that these people are spending money on that's got you so worked up where you don't want them to be? Wait. Okay. You want to make sure that the IRS is taking the people's money and paying for things like, DI, LGBT, transgender stuff in other countries. So you want us, you want the taxpayer, the American taxpayer. You remember how y'all kept saying that, a person's sexual life is nobody else's business?
Yes.
But you're forcing it to be our business. Not only are you forcing it to be our business here in the States, you're forcing it to be our business abroad. You're forcing us to pay into it. All right? So there should be an audit for that. And when all these things that you guys are upset because we're gonna put a stop to that. Yeah. You're forcing your ideology onto us, y'all. You see what I'm saying? You hypocrites. You think that we Christians and stuff like that, you think that we Christians are forcing our ideology on you, our morality and all that sort of stuff on you. It's like, no, you're forcing your ideology and your immorality onto us. All we do is say, dude, you can't do that. Don't do that. All right, but you think we're tyrants. No, the tyrants are you.
Yeah.
You're forcing us to make this our business. You're forcing us to be a part of this. We don't want to be a part of this. But you're forcing us to. You're forcing your religion onto us. You're forcing your immorality onto us. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to audit this stuff. And so not only are you guys, you butt-hurting about this, squealing over and want the Senate shut down and all that sort of stuff because of this money that's going to this perversion that you guys enjoy so much. Also, a lot of money is going to what? Things like food items. How much they spend on sushi?
$600 million.
$600 million. Y'all, I like sushi, and I know sushi can be expensive. Do y'all even have enough people to eat that much sushi?
They don't.
Okay.
93% of the IRS staff works from home.
So, I think Oriental food is usually great for takeout. So maybe they just order it.
Have it delivered.
Yeah, they Grubhubbing it and whatever. So $600 million for sushi. And Starbucks, when they get them K-cups, how much they spend on that?
Over $1,000, $1,200.
For K-cup?
For one, yes.
For one K-cup. And it's bad enough when you go into Starbucks, they're going to be all smug about it. Yeah, can I get a small coffee? We don't have small. We have tall. I said, well, whatever. Look, listen, Starbucker, you know what I'm talking about, okay? You get back there and you make me a small cup of coffee. But that's one of the reasons why them lines be so long. Because they expect, the customer to make sure that they order their drink correctly, for the full Starbucks experience. Those coffees can be rather expensive. $1,000 for a K cup. I don't know if you guys picked up on this or not, but when you're paying like $600 million for sushi, $1,000 cup for a K cup of coffee and stuff like that, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like paying thousands of dollars for some pizza. Thousands of dollars for a hot dog.
Yeah.
That sound familiar? I would say that one of these things that these people are afraid of with these audits, maybe they're going to find out that sushi, $600 million orders of sushi a year, probably amounts to code words. These are probably trafficking lingo. So maybe the IRS don't want folks to know about that. And that's where these liberals are out there. They don't want people to know about that. Probably a lot of these people are piped into there to protest this, to give their good little protest. Sure. And you got people in the Democrat Party in their appointed offices don't want this stuff to happen because it just may come out. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's kind of strange when you're paying that much for some sushi and for some coffee. The same way you'd be paying a whole lot of money for some pizza and some pasta, and some hot dogs. Because them things those were code words.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you guys think? Am I far off? Is that a stretch? I'd like to hear your thoughts or see your thoughts anyway.
They're trying to.
While you guys are like making trying to text out fart sounds. All right, sorry.
They're trying to fact check the whole the ridiculous payments and expenditures at the IRS headquarters. They're trying to fact check the figures, and somebody did come in on Twitter, and it's a parody account of Department of Government Efficiency, and they said, well, okay, then what is sushi code for? That needs to be figured out ASAP. So somebody's onto the same way of thinking that you are. They're like, okay, well, if you're gonna fact check and say these figures are wrong, then what do they really stand for? Mm-hmm.
Somebody biting my rhymes. No, but yes, hey, this should be familiar to a lot of people. They say, wait a minute. So if that's not what it is, then okay, well, what's it for?
Yeah.
So yes. What do you guys think? And what else we got here?
Yeah, Tom Jensen put in USAID, which we're also talking about. Mm-hmm. They spent $40,000 for an LGBT comic book in Peru. Yeah, that's in one of our articles. Mm-hmm. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I said, this stuff is, I thought it was supposed to be none of our business.
Oh, and Jay also put in here, was it Wayfair or Etsy that had the gym locker that was for sale for $64,000? They both got caught with strange posts that were very much code for trafficking children. Both of those platforms did.
There you go.
Which is why I will not use either one anymore.
And they have the nerve to want Elon Musk, arrested.
Yeah.
For what?
Because he has those 6 kids and him. The Democrats are all those people who were the congresswomen and the senators. They were saying that there's sensitive data that Elon Musk and his ilk at Doge have access to.
Man, who doesn't have access to who doesn't have access to our sensitive data? Who doesn't have it? You use Google, they got it.
Yeah.
Facebook, they got it.
Yep.
The new thing that y'all getting into now, DeepSeek, got it. You TikToking, got it. Yep. Yeah, our information's just out there, man. It's just out there. You mad about Elon Musk, and because he's got some youngsters work with him. Okay, some youngsters who probably about the same age as David Hogg, And y'all ain't mad about him being a vice chair of a DNC. Where your complaint about that? Just because somebody young, right? So you're okay with a little Greta Thunberg?
Yeah.
How dare you? You're okay with her being jetted around the world and stuff like that, giving lectures on it, but you, as if she's just so brilliant. But you mad because Elon Musk has some people, you know, that are young working for him? You hypocrites. But what do you expect though? That's to be expected. You got AOC trying to say that Elon Musk is dumb. Girl.
Right.
No, I don't think so. Y'all have a very a misappropriated definition of the term dumb. Hey, man, even I wouldn't say that like when you got a person who's got that kind of stature, got that kind of, you know, money, you don't get that by being an idiot per se. I wouldn't even call George Soros an idiot. His worldview is stupid. Yeah. But he's not stupid about going about advancing it. He's an evil genius. All right, I don't underestimate people like this. And but to just frivolously go out there and call Elon Musk stupid or implicate him as being dumb, that's dumb. And y'all, of course, we see people like you might see somebody, you know, who's just wealthy and just do some stupid stuff. Yeah, I understand. You know, we wonder, we scratch our head once like, man, how is it that you got so much money? Yeah, how did you become a millionaire or something like that? You're dumb. You know, I get it. We see it. There's certain things that people may do to just have a scratch in our heads and asking that. I haven't quite, you know, and I've seen Elon Musk do some things and say some things where I'm like, okay, yeah, dude, that probably wasn't a good move or anything like that. But it's not enough for me to just give him a broad brush of being stupid, you know, or dumb or anything like that. It's like, yeah, no. All right. Pretty accomplished dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. And of course, you know, that's probably another reason why they want to have him arrested. It's like, you know, he's accomplished.
Yeah. Wasn't Herman Cain a rocket scientist as well?
Yeah.
Like that was his background, and they called him an idiot and dumb
right.
as well.
Yeah. It's funny because you know they try to say things like, I've seen liberals like try to say things about Hurricane, you know, trying to educate him on stuff. It says, come on, man, it's not rocket science, you know, and when they say that, it's over their head. They've actually said things like that. It's not rocket science. It's like, dude, he literally is a rocket scientist. Yeah. he really is smarter than you. He really is. But you know, liberals are like that. They think that just the most brilliant people who actually apply their brilliance brilliantly, by the way.
Yeah.
The people that they have, who are, they're brilliant in a very dark way.
Yeah, true.
All right, they use their brilliance for darkness. I know that's an oxymoron, but that is, it's like I said, these people being very deeply shallow.
Yep.
It's an oxymoron, but you know it fits. Okay, and they'll say that about our people, yeah, they're just really backwards when it comes to all this stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, that's you know, that's what Elon is up to. That's what this Doge just, you know, is going with, and they don't like it, and I don't care. All right.
To be fair, when I think of AOC, I heard her talking about Elon Musk and his intelligence level last night, and I'm like, this woman cannot even figure out how to live off of $170,000 a year. That's not intelligent.
Yeah. You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you have this, you know, basically you've got this job security.
Yep.
You have to be voting yourselves raises.
Yep.
You know, it's not even money that you have to worry about making. Like you don't have to concern yourself with a bottom line. You know, you live off the government trough.
Yep.
Yeah. and hey, one would say, yeah, that's pretty smart. She found her niche to where she can get I would say this is how smart AOC is. She's getting paid for being stupid. I mean, the consensus is that she's not smart.
Yeah.
She's not a smart woman, but dang it, she getting our money.
That's true.
She getting paid,
Yeah.
man. It's like, wow. It's like, dang. She's proof that it pays to be stupid. She's proof. She don't make nothing. Her job costs money. What Elon does makes money. All right? You work in the private sector, you contribute to the GDP.
Yes.
Your jobs, private sector jobs, make money. Public sector's jobs cost money. AOC's job costs money. She's getting paid to be an idiot. I don't know, man. That's strangely enough, that seems kind of smart.
That's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
Jay says AOC actually got fired from every job she held. She was literally fired for incompetence as a bartender. Yeah, I read about that. She comes from a long line, including Bernie Sanders, who's like 80 or something. She comes from a long line of Democrats who've never held a job. They just suck off the public trough for their entire life.
Yeah. And the thing is, y'all remember, we can look at let's be careful not to underestimate these people, because even though like I said, they're not dumb, their worldview is. And well, I mean, okay, AOC may be an exception. And y'all listen, let me tell you something. I can't judge. I'm not going to judge AOC. Okay, I'm not going to judge AOC for being fired. I think I was fired from every job I had up until I think I was in my probably to my mid 30s. Every job, y'all, every job I ever had, I was fired from. All right, no. I think I walked out. I quit. I quit Starbucks.
Well, good on you.
The first day, I was a Starbucker, y'all. I opened up I was the crew that helped to open up the first Starbucks in the Coachella Valley. Right? Starbucks was coming to the Coachella Valley. And I was there. I learned all the coffee secrets and all that sort of stuff. The first day it opened up, I walked out. Yeah.
Why?
I mean, that's how dependable. Well, I walked out because I was like, it just hit me so hard, y'all. It hit me so hard that I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Oh.
That's for real, y'all. That's why I walked out. It wasn't for being. But no. Let me really clear this up. The bottom line is pride made me walk out. Okay, and that's not good. Okay, it was an entrepreneurial spirit that I had that was corrupted by pride. You know, I had studied. You know, my love was really in the martial arts, and I was like, man, I can't stand not teaching. I want to be teaching, right? But the pride that I had, I didn't deserve to be a teacher. Okay, so walked off my job because it's like, I'm going to start my school. I'm gonna start my school, right? And that's why I left. And because I'm like, I can't be wasting my time doing this. You know, this isn't what I do, right? I'm a martial artist. And I set a poor example of what it is to be a martial artist. So, but like I said, that was the pride that got me to just walk off that job. And why am I even talking about this? How did I end up here?
Because we're talking about AOC walked off every job.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Or got fired from every job she ever had.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing me back on course. Like I said, my work ethic, y'all, flipping horrible. Worst employee. If they did worst employee of the month awards, I'd be that guy. All right, every job I had. Praise be to God, man. It took the Lord. Just one day, just my work ethic changed to where I was being asked. You know, I think that the first job where I was, where they, were offering, say, dude, we want you to stay on, man. Was when I was doing scaffolding. I got a temp job doing scaffolding, and interesting job, man. It's where the employers, the employees, they're serious when they tell their men, the workers to get tampons. It's like, okay, one of the things that you're gonna want to do first of all, man, you're gonna want to get yourself some tampons.
Wait.
No.
Because I remember this.
Okay, not a tampon. Sorry. Hey.
Wrong feminine product.
Be happy to know that I don't really know, the nomenclature concerning these feminine items, because I don't use them in that fashion. I ain't no transgender, whichever, thinking that I've got someplace to put those things or whichever. So yes, I'm incorrect in my application of the use of tampon. Maxi pad. You're gonna want to get some maxi pads. All right, and I'm like, why do I need to get some? You'll find out, right? And the maxi pads, they basically serve as like big gauze pads, because you're gonna get these bloody blisters from carrying those scaffolds. And we didn't do these were like the heavy duty metal. All the scaffolds were metal. We didn't do like the wooden scaffolding or anything like that. These were metal. So humping those things, and putting up the elevators for these things, man. It was, it bled, you'd end up with these bloody shoulders. But that was like the first job, man, where they're like, yeah, we want to, but here's the thing. I didn't want to be a union worker. I at least knew that. I was coming around, man. It's like, I appreciate that you guys want me, working here, but, I don't want to be union. I don't want to be unionized, man. So, but that was the first job.
And I know maybe people in the audience are saying, oh, suck it up, take the job, be a union worker. However, this was in an area, and it was for an Indian casino, as in Native American Indian. It was for a casino in the desert.
Yeah.
And they didn't mess around with their unions there. There were a lot of people, a couple of whom I knew. If you didn't join the union or you weren't going to, they really would send thugs to your house. Yeah. These were like Chicago union professionals.
Yeah.
So I was great with you not wanting to join the union. I was like, yes, honey, please don't.
Yeah, is it when people would get out there and union would go on strike and stuff, like even in the Coachella, they would get pretty nasty.
They did get nasty.
Even in the retirement community of the Coachella Valley and surrounding cities, yeah.
And even your sister with the teachers union there at the college there, they were nasty and just wicked people.
Yeah, they pretty much showed me why. Just like, dude, who would want to be among you?
Yeah.
You're gangsters.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys are really a bunch of thugs. And so it's like, y'all miserable people. Never happy.
Yes.
You have them stickers, live better, work union. It's like, y'all never happy. And just be helping to drive up the cost of everything. But all that to say, y'all, I didn't have the greatest work ethic, and I was a horrible employee. So I'm definitely not judging. I'm not judging AOC as far as this goes, but I will call out the hypocrisy of AOC. And obviously, she can't, she has shown that she can't really do it in the private sector as an employee or an employer.
Yep.
And but has found a way to be able to get the public to pay her. Man, you witch. So, speaking of jobs and whatnot, actually, shortly after, I think that's when I ended up at PJTV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from that job to PJTV, and PJTV was probably the longest job I ever had.
Yeah, but you actually, before PJTV, people just started to support you through the mail, through the snail mail back then. It was during the McCain-Obama times when Obama was running. And before you signed on with PJ, you were blowing up on YouTube. Yeah. And people were starting to just support you, just sending financial contributions through the mail. Yeah,
and praise be to God for that, because after the scaffolding job, I did open up my school.
Yeah.
And that's where I started doing my videos out of. I was after I was done teaching, I set up my camera and started doing the videos, and they started catching on really quick. First on MySpace and then on YouTube, and PJTV saw, hey, this guy's making money. Let's recruit them. So yeah, that's those good old days of my videos going viral, and I held that. I was like, I think it used to be I would probably keep a job for lucky if it was 7 months. I don't even think that long. Well, probably how long was I fueling planes?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I was so glad that you didn't keep that job, though. So glad. I'm honest to God, if you're fueling planes, you need more than 8 hours between your shifts. I didn't understand how that was legal.
Yeah.
They would give you exactly 8 hours between your shift. I'm like, he hasn't even gotten to sleep hardly. And you're calling him back to work?
Yeah. It was even though I was a total schmuck on that job. It was a fun job.
Young.
I took that job. Yeah, I took that job for granted, man. It was a cool gig to land, and no pun intended. But after that, I was teaching, and but like I said, I don't really think I had any business being a teacher. I had too much pride to be teaching, and I did my videos. And I think this was just before I had come to the Lord, right? And got into Jesus, y'all. And then that's when PJTV they came calling, and 7 years I worked.
You had just gotten saved too, and you were like, my stipulation is, I am not compromising on biblical values. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And we were praying. We were like, oh Lord, this would be so great, but. You told them, I'm not compromising on biblical values. And they're not exactly conservative Christians that ran PJTV.
No, they're not. They'll even say straight up, the people, most of the staff at PJTV were liberals.
Yeah.
Just flat out liberals, and the upper, the brass of PJT were self-proclaimed, fiscally conservative, whatever that means, socially liberal, So, AOC. Yeah, I'm not judging.
Oh, no. AKA Sandy Cortez. Somebody put it in the chat how wealthy and well-to-do her family is, and that is true. She was little preppy Sandy Cortez her whole life until she became a congresswoman, and now she's like from the streets, AOC.
Yeah. Doing all her street moves and stuff like that. Yeah.
With her accent of the day.
Trying to be all Zach De La Rocha and stuff like that.
Yes.
Zach De La Rocha, who's I think probably more Jewish than he is Mexican. He's like a lot of us. He's a mutt, okay? But to get out there and just act like he's just like this full-on Aztec warrior or something like that, it's like you're not pure Aztec, bro.
You're American too.
Yeah.
Isaiah Chapman. Say, hey, Zoe, was stopping. I think he meant say stopping by.
What's up, man?
Isn't he usually in the Instagrams?
Yeah, he is. Oh, decided to come and visit. Is he on the YouTubes or is he on the website?
He's on the YouTubes.
Well, right on. And speaking of which, I see we got R Sparks, Todd, and thank you, Eli, for stopping in, man. Appreciate you. We got Todd, Kudo, Brian. Hope I'm saying you guys' name right. Nixie Silva, right on. We got Big Pop-Up DB. Let's see. And I'm glad I showed up in your feed there, Nixie. Let me see. And okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yo.
Dust to Dust says, if you would have stuck with it, you could have been a barista by now. Dust to Dust, I am pleased to inform you that he is the best barista at home. He makes the best coffee, gourmet style.
You know what? And thank you. Because I like my coffee like motor oil, man. It's got gusto. Right? When I make some coffee, man, he's like, you drinking coffee. I don't be making no brown water, man. It's like coffee.
Brown water.
And the thing was, there was a bar and this is Palm Canyon Drive, right? So, a bar across the way, I can't remember what they were called, but the guy who owned it, he was a real piece of work. And he caught wind. We had mutual friends and stuff like that, but he caught wind that I worked at Starbucks, and he wanted me to work at his bar because he wanted somebody who knew how to make all the Starbucks drinks, right? So he came looking for me, and I I worked there for a minute, and he was so awful to work for. It made me miss Starbucks.
Wow.
Right? It was like I wasn't looking for. I was like I said, I was off to start my school.
Yeah.
Right? But he wanted me to work there. He said, "Come on, man, just offer me this." And I'm like, "All right, fine." But man, this guy was a super jerk. And the thing is, he hired me because he wanted to know how to make the coffee drinks. But he made me a bartender, not a barista.
Oh.
Right? He had me making alcohol drinks. And I'm like, dude, I've never made an alcoholic beverage for anybody in my life.
He couldn't have picked the worst.
Yeah, it's
attempted bartender.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my alcoholic beverage, the fanciest I think I've ever got is Kahlua and some milk. That's my blended drink for you. All right? Kahlua, when I was a kid, I've been drinking Kahlua. It was like, my mom caught me doing that stuff. It's like, I'm in the fridge. They had some Kahlua. What you guys got Kahlua for? He's like, okay, wow, this tastes like chocolate. Chocolate coffee. And I loved coffee when I was a kid too. And they wondered why I was so hyper. So anyway, lots of like coffee with my cream and sugar.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, I'd make me a long, tall glass of that stuff. It's like I knew how to make that, and that's all I've known how to make. That's about as far as I go with making a mixed alcoholic drink.
How old were you?
I was like 7.
Gosh.
It's like, remember how you have them lunch boxes?
Yeah.
And you got your thermos? You know what my thermos would have in it? Kahlua and milk. I went to school with that.
No.
That's right. I prepared my own lunchbox. I knew how to make myself eggs, sandwiches. I was like them kids in China, man, know how to make my own breakfast and stuff. I was ready, man. It's like I like to cook,
Aww.
So even when I was little, man, I'll do my own cereal, oatmeal, eggs, whatever. I make my own breakfast, and I pack my lunchbox too. And my thermos had Kahlua and milk in it. That's how I roll. So all that to say, when I got to this job, they're like, make me a black and tan. What the hell is that? I don't know what black and tan is. And he'd be furious. You don't know what a black and tan is? I'm like, no, man, I don't know what it is. You hired me to make coffee, dude. I don't know what a black and tan is. So of course I found out. I guess it's a pale beer and a stout. It's like, okay, I know now.
Wow.
But man, if you're gonna get any crazier than that, I'm not the right person for the job, because I don't make alcoholic drinks. I'm not a drinker, So
only when you were 7.
Yeah. The most drinking I did was when I was 7. I think.
Does your mom remember this?
Yeah, she remembers.
That is hilarious.
I think. I guess she was kind of taken off guard. Anyway, speaking of landing jobs, you guys remember that guy Daniel Penny? Scored him a gig.
Yes.
And more power to you. And let's see. I know the left has got to be, because remember, y'all, a lot of this, as far as like this race narrative stuff goes, a lot of this stuff is engineered. Considering where he was, they were expecting this guy most likely. They want the culture to eat him alive. And what would infuriate black folks more than Daniel Penny, coming out on top on this? Well, that's part of the engineering. It's part of promoting the divide, the division, the resentment, between black folks and white folks, particularly white people who vote on the right end of the perspective of the spectrum. That's what this is about, y'all. That's what it's about. They want to use stuff like this to drive the divide. But Daniel Penny's got this gig, and and more power to him. And I appreciate in his interview, you could see where he's very, reflective. A lot of reflection, going on there. A lot of humility going on there. I didn't see any sort of, he didn't have this thing, like say for instance, I just saw a video of, what's his name? Is it Luttrell? Remember the Navy SEAL? Marcus Luttrell. Marcus Luttrell, right? Is it Luttrell or Terrell or?
Luttrell.
Okay, sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. But he had a person on there, and this seems like eons ago that these things came out, who had murdered this woman's husband. And during the interview, they're just laughing and talking about it's like things like, man, I can't even order a drink or something like that. If I order a drink, I ordered some water and I was served like some alcohol by accident, and I spit it out, because, hey, man, the last time I had a drink, somebody died, and they're like kind of laughing about this. And it's like, that's awkward.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's, do you guys know what I'm talking about? On its face, y'all, it looks rather gauche.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this? So this is Marcus Luttrell having this interview. And, but I'm bringing that up because Daniel Penny's demeanor wasn't anything like that. He was very guarded about his response, and you could tell he was sensitive to the matter, and basically saying, look, man, and I'm paraphrasing here, what if I didn't do nothing? And this guy, I don't know this guy, I don't know what his background is and all that sort of stuff, and all I know is that he's threatening people. And from what I can see, he's got the ability to act out his threat. Okay? And if he would have done something, if he would have acted on that threat and really hurt somebody when I could have stopped it, man, I'll go ahead and take $1 million. You just give me what you got. Just go ahead and give me your hate and all that sort of stuff. I'd rather deal with that than to have to live, I'd rather deal with that for killing the guy for killing this guy. All right? I'd rather deal with that and deal with your hate than to have stood by and let this guy kill somebody when he had the ability to. Right? I don't know if he's just, I don't know. You don't take that kind of chance in somebody else's life. Somebody, showing that they got the ability to kill somebody, and they're talking about doing it. It's like, yeah, dude, I got to step in on that, So just the humility that is expressed there in the reflection, that's I don't know. What do you guys think? That's a pretty decent show of character, and
it is.
And with this firm that he's going to be working with, let's see, what's the gig? He's going to be. Let me open this up. Daniel Penny has landed a job at a Silicon Valley investment firm. That almost sounds kind of scary. It's like, dude, do you want to
work for Silicon Valley?
You mean working in Silicon Valley? A lot of them people in there, they crazy, man. Crazy leftists. Daniel Penny has been hired by a venture capital firm and Andreessen Horowitz in Silicon Valley, according to the Free Press. Colin Rowe wrote, the firm was founded by Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, he added. I believe, as I know many of you do, that Daniel acted with courage in a tough situation. General partner David Ulevich said, according to the Free Press.
Sound it out.
Sound it out. It's like the electric company.
Yeah.
Shh. Never mind. Remember they'd have the two things come together and they would give those calls.
I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Always. Always. Right? Sound it out. Okay. Let me see. He was acquitted of all charges. Beyond that, it has always been our policy to evaluate the entire person, not just judge them for the worst moment in their entire life. Yeah, and I can appreciate that. So, let's see what he does with it.
It says kind of what he's going to do. It says he added that he envisions Penny, a former Marine, helping to strengthen the firm's relationships with the Department of Defense and public safety sector. Mm-hmm. Penny will work in New York, because remember, that's where he's from. If I was him, he must have a reason that he has to stay there. Like a child or a mother or sick relative, because why would you stay in New York?
Right.
Anyway, Penny will work in New York for the firm's American Dynamism practice, a branch of the company that invests in founders and companies that support the national interest. And Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, they are huge Silicon Valley supporters of Trump.
Okay. All right, well, I guess at least there he's in good hands, and
God willing, yes.
and can be where, I don't want to say, I don't want to use the term shielded, but it's like, I guess, let me put it like this. Maybe for what he's, as I reckon he would have gotten, it's like, dude, I'm out of New York. But considering this gig that he's got now, and this is more than a gig, this career, I guess with that, he can afford to enjoy what he enjoyed about living in New York.
Well, yeah, true. Maybe he can afford to take Uber or Lyft or a car service every day now. I would
not
hope.
Lyft. Lyft is no.
Or is that just LA?
No. That reminds me of Lyft. Lyft got. Did they lose? Which is like, it's funny because Lyft is owned by a bunch of liberals too. Woke is thick in Lyft.
Yeah.
And they got a taste of their own medicine. Real big one. It wasn't Lizzo, but it was big woman. It was a big woman. And the driver told her, "Hey, you can't fit in my car."
What?
She was bigger than the car.
Oh my goodness.
Big old woman, right? She as what's his name? Larry the Cable Guy would say, she was a big old woman. She was a runway model out at the airport. And he said, but this one was just, I saw the pictures, like, dang, she as big as the car, right? You ain't getting in there, you ain't getting in that car. And it's like, he's like, man, you can't fit in my car. She sued Lyft. Yeah, I think she won.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't, anyway.
Wow.
But like say for instance with us, being in California, I kind of sympathize. Man, we didn't want to leave California.
Yeah.
And
It's very hard.
Yeah, I suppose if we could, bear with me. Let me just preface this by saying this. If we could afford to stay in California financially, we probably wouldn't have left. Well, we would have left. But
Yeah.
one, bottom line is we couldn't afford it spiritually. Is the thing that we couldn't,
It was vexing our spirit.
vexing our spirit, and it's like, yeah, we got to get out. But man, leaving California, I didn't want to leave California. California is really, despite. Unfortunately, what has happened to it, the lunacy that's taken over California, man, is a cool state. And, but also, when they're considering my, wife's, health and stuff like that, what was happening to the medical industry there and them mandating, the jab or whichever, whatever you're allowed to say now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Between that and, it's like if she has to go to the hospital, I can't go in. That ain't gonna work out too good. So we had to get on up out of there.
And I couldn't even enter medical buildings because I was unjabbed.
Yeah. So, other family members, like mom and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you can't be an advocate for them and stuff like that.
Nope.
One of my closest friends, man, it's like he lost his parents, his father, they did him like that,
Yeah.
They did him like that. And that's heartbreaking,
Yes, it is.
So it's like, we're not talking about some sort of theory here.
Right.
It's like, man, this could happen, man. No, we saw it happen.
Yep.
And it's like, man, we got to get out of here. I'll end up going to jail. I'm gonna end up in jail, for stuff like this,
Yeah.
man. So
Your wife came close because when I was told that I couldn't go back and be with your mom when she had to have a procedure done, and I was told, at first they took my temperature and then they asked, well, are you vaxxed and when did you get it? And I was told that I couldn't go back with her. I had words. I was so angry because, and then a lot of people are like, well, don't blame them, it's the politicians. Like, no, the medical workers were just as like pure COVID government worshiping as the politicians were, the medical workers in California.
Yeah.
All, authoritarian, basically.
Yeah, that.
Yep.
Medical tyranny, y'all.
Yes.
And yeah, we had to get on out. Let's see, what else we got here?
Yes, Tom, I like the term clot shot too. I always use it.
Right, the Fauci ouchie.
And now prepare for the buffering and for him to be demonetized since we said those two words. And we're talking about the COVID.
Yeah, because it does happen, y'all.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, here's some good news. Some more good news. Glad following Penny getting that job. Pete Hegseth announces best U.S. Army recruiting number in 15 years.
Woohoo.
All right, so let's read a little bit of this article here. Come on. Weird. That's the first word that sounds there. Trump got elected. The Department of Defense dropped all the DEI BS, stopped pushing the gay and woke agenda, put a real man in charge, started deploying to the border, and look what happened. Yes, the Secretary of Defense just announced that the U.S. Army recruiting in December, the month after he was announced to be the replacement of Biden's woke Lloyd Austin. Army recruiting hit a high not reached in a decade. I tell you what, y'all, I reckon if a person wanted to be, if they wanted to go into the military during the Biden administration, I think that's a whole nother level of bravery. It's like, really, man, you want this person as your commander in chief? Ooh. You must want that GI Bill real bad or something. Maybe you want to go to art college or whichever. Maybe you want to be like Maynard Keenan or whichever. Maynard Keenan, that heathen. And I used to be a big fan of Tool, man. A huge fan of Tool. And Maynard Keenan, lead singer, he went to West Point. And yeah, he of course he wanted that GI Bill so he could go to art college or whichever. But and that sucks, man. Like Tool, I was like I already knew. I think I stopped paying attention to their lyrics like after Undertow. And Undertow was like pretty much that album. I played the crap out of. I really enjoyed the Undertow album. Following that, Anima was Anima. It's like I already didn't like the album that much because I couldn't pronounce what it was supposed to be. I was like Anima. Anyway, they like things that have to do with the anus anyway.
Yes.
And I already knew that. Okay, yeah, I get it, man. He's a heathen and stuff like that. But it was like I just could not listen to Tool anymore after. I messed around and I paid, because lyrics, literally, y'all, I would tune the lyrics out. And Maynard, he had that side project, A Perfect Circle. And they had that song, Jude. And I actually really liked the song. It had that 6/8 groove to it. It's chunky. It has some good melodies in there too. The rhythm was good, and all that sort of stuff. A lot of qualities in the song that I would like. And I, like I said, I never really paid attention to the lyrics. There's a lot of distortion on the lyrics and whichever, I think, in some of the spots. And, sometimes, the lyrics, and maybe it's just one of those things that I don't want that I didn't hear what I thought I heard, did I? It's like, I don't know. Tune that stuff out. I just want to listen to the groove, And then one day, man, I was driving and I didn't get to hear all of the song, man. I was like, bumping that song, man. I didn't get to hear all of it. And I figured out when I get back to the crib, man, I'll go ahead and I'll put that song on. And while the video was playing, I just pulled it up on YouTube, check out the video. And when the captions were on and it read out the lyrics, and the lyrics, like in the first verse, F your God, your Lord, your Christ. I was done.
Wow.
And y'all, I was a big fan of Tool, man.
Yeah,
Seen
you
Tool
were.
Several times at concert, Lollapalooza, I was down. And but I was like, wow, man. I can't
Jeez.
Even just thinking, just you know, just to see the words, and just the lyrics, just like go ahead and just like come into focus. It's heartbreaking, man. It's like it's a knife in the heart, you know. And like for y'all, it's like, damn, man, y'all that stupid.
Right.
That's a heartbreaking level of stupid that y'all would run with that. But you know, anyway, yeah, Maynard Keenan was in the Army.
That's horrifying.
So, and all that, and people wanting to be recruited now.
That's proof that the Army doesn't help everybody. Because there's those usually Christless conservatives who think that everybody can be fixed by putting them in the military.
Oh yeah, how long have we been hearing that? It's like, you know, that's like the we need to you know, reinstate the draft. You know, that's what these youngsters need. They need to go into the military. You know, and I'm like, no. It's like, you know, parents, because it's a weird thing, because, you know, a lot of conservatives, you know, they feel that way.
Yep.
You know, they just need to put their behind, you know, in the military so they can learn how to be adults. Mm-hmm. It's like, wait a minute. I thought conservatives are always the ones saying that parents know what's best for their kids. So why aren't the parents teaching their kids how to be adults?
Good question.
I always thought conservatives say that government is the problem, not the answer. So why would you send your kids to the government to raise your kids and teach them how to be adults, right? You say that the public school is this product of the state, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and then, you know, messing up our kids, but you demand our kids to be there for the state to raise your kids. And then, you know, want them to be in the military. None of that stuff makes sense to me. Like, it's like, you know, or they say, well, we just need the right people in the military. Well, if the military is the place that is where these great people are made, then how the crap did the wrong people get in there?
Yeah.
How did the military not defend itself from itself? How the crap did Milley get to where he is? How did Lloyd Austin get in there?
Yeah.
How did these people get in? How do we have trannies in there? The military hasn't defended itself from itself. So how is the military looked at as this place that is going to turn out all these model citizens? You know, whether you think you're going to have the right people. If we had the right people in there, what do you mean if? Shouldn't they already be in there? Shouldn't they have already been the people who stopped these people from getting in there in the first place?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If people were more adamant about, you know where you really need to be? You need to have your head in the Bible. If people were more adamant about you need to get, it's like, instead of saying you need to get into the military, no, you need to get into the Word of God is where you need to be. That's where you need to be. You know, if we had that, yeah, we'd be a much better country.
Yeah.
But you got people out there, man, who are more insistent that we need to have a draft and these young people need to be in the military more than they say that these people need to have their head in the Word of God.
Amen.
That's the problem. That's that pride talking, y'all. That's that pride. So, but I'm glad to see this show of confidence, because you got people now saying, look, man, I think now would be a good time to go into the military. All right, because I think it shows this level of trust.
Absolutely.
You know, I think you know, we're going to actually be valued for our service in there, and I think that we're going to, and in doing our service, you know, we'll have what we need to be able to do the job safely, better our chances, if you will, should conflict come up and stuff like that. I want to know that the person to my left and to my right are solid, okay, and not more worried about their sexual identity or their gender identity and all that sort of stuff, being so caught up with that rather than, you know, having my six. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if I want you on my six. Get away from my six. So, you know, I think that kind of confidence is you know, needless to say, important to have in the military. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else we got here. New York bill will require criminal background checks to purchase 3D printers. Dang, man. Okay, now, you guys already know my stance on background checks. I think folks agree with me, even though it's painful to. I think folks agree with me on my stance about background checks. I don't think in terms of like should they be mandated? No, I don't think background checks should be mandated at all. I just think it's smart. It's smart for the gun store owner, right? It's his property. You got to balance your right to property with your Second Amendment rights. Okay, Second Amendment rights does not mean that you have the right to make somebody sell you a firearm. Okay, if I own a gun shop and somebody wants to come in and buy a firearm, I'm gonna want to know a couple of things about you. Okay, I want to check you out. You're gonna be in my community, you know, with one of my guns, you know, that you want to buy it. Okay, I want to, you know, I just don't want. I don't want to feed into that. I want to know that, you know, we got law-abiding citizens and whatnot that are going to be out there who are going to use these firearms to defend themselves and not cause any trouble. So that's my prerogative with my property. Okay. Would I say that every gun shop has to do that? No, not mandated. We have a right to keep and bear arms. If a person with their property, if they feel comfortable enough about going ahead and selling their guns to anybody, that's their business. I just wouldn't be that person, you know? So with my property, nobody can come in and try to tell me, well, I have the right to keep and bear arms and all that sort of stuff, so you have to sell me a firearm. It's like, no, that has to be checked by my right to property, and I have the right to the discretion of who I sell to, you know? So all that to say, with a 3D printer, man, knock it off with this idiocy. You know, require a criminal background check. It's just not the same thing. All right, let me. I know I took the long way around to get to the point to be able to say that 3D printers are stupid. I just wanted to substantiate the contrast of how idiotic this is. That you would have people, it's like this New York, New York, dang it. New York, let me ask you something, New York. Y'all got them gun control laws, right? Are your gun control laws so freaking ineffective? Meaning that your gun control laws ain't doing anything about gun violence, right? Is it so ineffective that even a 3D printer is a threat to you? Yeah. This ain't gonna work. Your gun laws don't work.
Yep.
Okay. How many times, you know, do us Second Amendment folks have to tell you, hey, you know, criminals are, by definition, is a person who doesn't obey the law.
Yeah.
You can do as many gun control laws as you want to. They're criminals. They don't obey the law. So with this 3D printer stuff, so man, you gonna lay this prejudice on anybody who just wants a 3D printer? Man, and people, you know, not everybody wants 3D printer to make a ghost gun.
Right.
All right, but it's their prerogative if they're gonna make one. You know, if dang it, it's not any of your business. It's not the government's business to know. Okay, it's not their business to know what your artillery is. All right, that's not your business. If they want to make some sort of weapon, if they want to make a weapon with their 3D printer, that ain't none of your business. Unfortunately, until they do something with that weapon, unless they do something illegal. I get that. I understand that you want preventative measures in place. I understand that. You know, we of course want to stop crimes before they happen. You want to put in as many deterrents as possible. You have to balance that with a person's right to property, though. You have to balance that with the right the right to keep and bear arms that shall not be infringed. If you are doing background checks, okay, and this is one of them negative rights that's applied to the state. Okay, the state, you cannot infringe upon a person's right to keep and bear arms. You, the state, cannot mandate background checks and stuff like that. But when we're talking about a well-regulated militia, and folks, I hope that you can appreciate my sense of application when we're talking about a well-regulated militia. Once again, if I'm a gun store owner, if I'm a person who's going to be supplying guns, in this well-regulated militia, I have the discretion to be like, look, man, I would not, it'd be like, if you're going to go on, if you're going on a mission, if you're going to pick your team, you're going to pick your fire team. You just like, okay, not you. Some people be overlooked, and it's the same thing. Like, if I'm going to be putting out, selling my firearms, if I'm going to supply my militia, it needs to be well regulated. I need to have the discretion on the who's who and who's solid. All right, that's part of what it is to be a well regulated militia. We regulate it. We the people regulate it. Unfortunately, the liberals, for some crazy reason, they think they get all happy when it comes to regulation. Ooh, government, imposition. The government's going to come in and control everything. I don't know. These people are weird with their statist mindset, man.
Yes.
But somehow think that it's the state that regulates the militia. It's like, no, no, right? It's a well-regulated militia is a self-governing thing. All right, they don't get that because being self-controlled is judgmental.
Yes.
Telling people, you need to control yourself. Don't you judge me. Right? They want to control everything.
They sound like.
Yeah, it's like they want to control everything. They want to control. They want to control how much people get paid. They want to control minimum wage. They want to control the freaking weather. They want to control the population. They're just control freaks.
Yep.
Control freaks, man. And but if you tell them you need to control yourself, all of a sudden you're being judgmental. But yeah, 3D printers, man, that's being ridiculous. That's this prejudice that you're gonna put on a bunch of people who may not even have an interest in printing guns. This is not gonna help you at all with preventative measures. You can go ahead and do that background check all you want to. The thing is, they can order that 3D printer from someplace else. All right, they can get that printer from someplace else. Lots of places where you can order them things online, or if they want to go ahead and just drive outside the state or whichever and get one, they can go ahead and do that. Yeah. If they're gonna print, a piece, they're gonna print a piece. All right. You just, but what would be helpful is y'all actually allowing law enforcement to be vigilant in the ways that they're supposed to be vigilant. Yeah. That's what you need to do. They need to be watchful in the ways that they're supposed to be watchful. You don't just you don't treat people like they're guilty until proven innocent. You don't just have these people suspect and whatnot. You need to have these people instead of the officers that they got there who are doing nothing while people are getting raped on subway trains, and things like that. Mm-hmm. And instead of being so concerned with DEI and accommodating transgenders and homosexuals and all this perversion and stuff like that you guys are making accommodations for, won't y'all stop wasting your time doing that? That way you can have better eyes on people who would try to draw on people with, a ghost gun or something like that. Be watchful for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Instead of, being so focused on, being a part of promoting perversion in your state. Yeah. We've got a couple comments here. Sledge-O-Matic says 3D printers can be used to make 3D printers. That's why I laughed out loud when you were talking. At an awkward moment. Because even components on I had a 3D printer, right? And the components on it, a lot of the components on it are 3D printed. Yep.
And then the 1700, he makes a good point here. 3D printer firmware can be coded to prevent/alter gun prints. And I think that's exactly what the government will do. Like if the Democrats get power again, or in blue states, they'll just make the printers, they'll alter the firmware to make it where you cannot print a gun or components of a gun.
Great tip, man. And right there, once again, that is an infringement on people's Second Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have the right to keep and bear arms. If you have the ability to print a weapon, I mean, because here's the thing. Why would you, it's like if they're going to make it to where they can code it to where you can't print a gun, it doesn't mean that you still can't print a weapon. And more people are killed by being stabbed. You know, we gonna ban knives. Yeah, you guys know the questions to this absurdity. You know. It's like these people act like, you know, if you could be killed by something, you know, it's gonna be a threat. Lots of car accidents in you know, in New York. So, you know, and the thing is, vehicles, they're meant to transport people. They're not made to kill people. But they kill more people in the US. They kill more people than the actual instrument that y'all are so afraid of. That's actually made for the purpose of killing people. So liberals, they're just irrational people, man, that are just given over, you know, to an overactive imagination. That's just who they are.
Absolutely. In the Bronze Serpent Media chat, we have a question for at the end of the show on a current political topic. But Steve also says, well-regulated did not mean to regulate. It meant well-organized and functional. The founders' definition of regulated was different than today's. And I love that point.
Come on now. Yes. Drop that logic. In here in the Instagram, yeah, Brian Lyman. Sorry, I keep saying your name wrong, man. And thank you for consistently tuning in. Says banning knives in prison doesn't stop someone from sharpening something and shivving someone.
True.
Yeah, banning is, you know, these bans that these people talk about, they're rather pointless. All right, the issue is so much deeper than, and like I said, man, these people, they're all about this gun control. They want to control everything. You know, like I said, from the they want to control from the population to controlling the weather.
Yep.
That is not hyperbole, y'all. That's not rhetoric. That is real. But when it comes to self-control, y'all, that's the thing that needs to be promoted, man. It's like, you know, liberals, man, if you really want to feel empowered, learn to control yourselves. Learn to control yourselves, man. That's what it is to be real. That's what it is to really be about. The Word of God tells you, man, you need to have self-control. You need to be disciplined. You know, instead of being so hung up on controlling other people, which is what they want to do. There's no power in controlling other people, man. There's no power in that. The power is in being able to control yourself. And the power is in being able to have like such a kind of constitution and integrity that's fortified by the Lord, where others be like, man, I want to be disciplined like that. Like Paul would say, man, I want you to be imitators of me. You know, because how I roll is that I follow Christ. You know, but a culture of self-control is a thing that needs to be promoted. That would be the thing that would bring down these assaults and these violent attacks. That would bring that stuff down.
Yep.
Not taking away, assuming to take away the instruments that people commit violence with. You can do that all you want, man. People gonna find a way to do it. All right.
Always.
Same way people gonna find a way to get highs. It's you know, and don't get me wrong, y'all, because now that raises the question. So, Zoe, are you okay with legalizing marijuana and legalizing it? No, actually, I'm not. Okay, I do not think that drugs should be legal. There's a difference between criminalizing marijuana and stuff like that. Where I'm coming from is that if you get caught with marijuana, you need to be fined. All right, and if you don't pay your fine, then you go to jail. All right, but you don't just go to jail for having marijuana. Okay, yeah. And there's the reason why I say that, y'all, is because I know it's the big mindset. A lot of time it's the right-leaning libertarian mindset that, marijuana, should be legal. Banning it is pointless. The drug war is dumb and all that sort of stuff. And to a point, I agree. But the big issue is that, we need lesser government. Government needs to get out of the way, and you just need to let people go ahead and make the choice to do what it is they're going to do. And y'all, that's la la land. Okay, government doesn't get smaller when you make drugs legal. All right, government actually gets bigger. Okay, we haven't experienced this shrinking of government when marijuana became legal, as it's becoming more and more legal. As it becomes more and more legal, government's getting bigger and bigger. All right, it doesn't help economies. All right, it doesn't. All this talk about. I remember back in the day that it was this really dumb point of, the reason why the government doesn't make marijuana legal is because they can't tax it. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That's why marijuana is not legal.
Yep.
If the government could tax marijuana, they'd make it legal. That's like the dumbest. And the funny thing is, man, this is the funny thing. These same people, basically like these hippies and whatnot, because I've been hearing that point as far back as like the 80s.
Yep.
People saying stuff like that. Old hippies and stuff, they're talking about, the government, man, they just won't make it legal because they can't tax it. I'm like, aren't you guys Beatles fans? Aren't you Beatles fans? Don't you? According to the gospel of the Beatles, government will tax anything.
Yep.
Anything. You think the government wouldn't tax marijuana? Figure out a way to tax it? Oh, come on now. Yeah, the government will definitely tax the marijuana. And you ought to be glad. But no, actually, no. Because they want bigger government. They want the government to facilitate the things that they want, make the things legal that they want and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, it's, with making marijuana legal, all it does is make for bigger government, and there will be less freedom. That's why I say, dude, just keep it illegal. No one will leave well enough alone. You'll actually keep the government smaller, keeping marijuana legal.
Yep.
But I guess that ship has sailed. Brian Lyman says there's no such thing as controlling someone else. It is an illusion. There is only showing a better way or force. And if you use force, they resent you and do what they want behind closed doors. Yeah, dig it, man. The thing is, we see that these statists, these authoritarian, liberal mindset, they're, like I said, they got an overactive imagination.
Yes.
And they do assume to have what it takes to control other people. They want other people to live by their fantasies. They want other people to be shackled to their fantasies. And yeah, we do. As the Word of God tells us, man, we want to be a light. We got to be a lamp unto their feet. We got to show the way and not do it coercively or anything like that. They're going to try to find a way to do these things behind closed doors. And once again, the word says, hey, we got to bring these people into the light. It's something that we're always going to have to be vigilant about. Always. We're not trying to invade these people's home. We're not trying to get up into their business or anything like that. What two consenting adults do in their privacy, hey, that's on them. But we also I think do we get it by now that these people, they can't do that?
Yeah.
Remember, y'all, the objective of a business, the course of a business is to grow. All right? Always keep that in mind. So when they say like what we do is our own business, they want to grow their business. All right? And when we tell them, it's like, look, man, what you do is your own business. We're basically giving them the go-ahead to grow. And they will grow what is supposed to be in the privacy and the business of their own bedrooms or wherever it is that they want to do their freaky stuff. They will grow that outside of there, and they're going to want to do it everywhere. That's proven. And y'all, this ain't some new thing. It's been going on for thousands of years. Thousands. It always ends up like this. It's always seemed to be where this thing, what they're going to do behind closed doors in the privacy of their own home, and it's just their business. The course of a business is to grow, and they will grow it outside of there, and they're going to want to do it in your face and demand that you care about it. Demand that you will be allies with it. Demand that you support it. Demand that you freaking celebrate it. All right? So yeah, we have to do our job to be like, look, man, we're not trying to push our God on you, our faith, our morals. We're not trying to push that stuff on you. We're trying to keep you from pushing your perversion onto us. That's what we got to keep in mind. That's the course we got to stay, man. We got to make sure that we're effective, in our methodology of promoting those things.
Indeed.
I was going to say, let's get to the Super Bowl boycott. That'll be short because I don't care. And then UK woman harasses boyfriend's ex-partner by sending her fart selfies. Okay, let's read some of it. Okay, in short, in other words,
Yeah.
UK woman sentenced for harassing boyfriend's ex with fart selfies. Rhiannon Evans sent videos of herself passing gas with the camera placed below. This is the one. This is the first reported cyber farting case in the UK. Jolly good. A 25-year-old woman. Man, you would think that these people from the UK would have a little bit more class than that.
I was thinking that too.
Stereotyping
in my mind.
Did she hold her phone with her pinky out? With her Vegemite fortified farts.
Right. Wait, is that?
Huh?
Is that all of the United Kingdom? I thought that was only Australia.
Well, okay, yeah. What aspect of the UK
They
was
still
this?
eat that in Australia, I think.
No.
Or am I thinking
Right.
about something else?
No, you're right. I'm getting that confused with Miramite. Miramite is what the British and the English like to eat, isn't it? It's Miramite, and Australians like Vegemite. And I think they're the same thing. It's
my goodness.
Wow. It's basically nutritional yeast, right? I think that's and some herbs or whichever, and I'm not sure what other kind of medium that may be in it, but it's supposed to be like really salty. I don't know. It could be good. I don't know. Because remember that there was that almond spread that we used to get. Is that really good? It was.
The Trader Joe's one?
I think, from Trader. No, it was some friends got it for us from like Costco.
The Costco almond butter, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a sauce though. It was like the savory sauce, and they came in different flavors, like like Chipotle or like salt verde.
I remember because I look for it every time we go to Market Street.
And it hadn't gotten here yet.
Ew.
And I'm hoping that it does. That stuff was good, and that's the part of the ingredients was nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like probably the Miramite. I've never had Miramite or Vegemite. Probably good. It's supposed to be like really salty.
Weird.
We like salt. Salt's good for you. Don't let anybody tell you that salt ain't good for you. Salt's good for you.
Yeah.
Well, not the it's the Himalayan salt. Get that pink salt.
Yeah. If you get Morton salt, no.
Yeah,
no.
Not quite. That ain't gonna quite cut it. But salt in itself is good for you. But people tell you that's not.
Unadulterated salt.
Let me see.
So she held her phone up to her bottom, the article says.
Yeah.
Smile.
So I wonder. Come on, man. This got me thinking some gross thoughts.
Don't.
Like, did she shart on her? Did she ever shart on
it?
it? It's like, can you imagine like looking on your phone and you see like this bum, and then all of a sudden you just see there's something hit the camera. Oh, it's like, you try to wipe it off your phone, but you can't because it's cyber, right? Or I wonder if like, she gave me a stink eye. Anyway,
Stop it.
I wonder also, like when she like did the selfie, did it fog the lens?
Ew.
Like did it fog the lens or anything like that? Did the camera do a blur breathe?
Incidentally, all the different articles that I was trying to find that summed up this case the best, a lot of the articles referred to it as, of course, cyber farting was the term that they have used in court. So now that will be the term that's used. But they also did use fart selfies.
Fart selfies. Take that, you twit. Can you imagine like what her, did she leave like a voice message with her or something like that? Because obviously she's, she don't leave voice, it's video, she's doing video and audio. I mean, I'm pretty sure she wants to hear it, hear it really good. Yeah, that's what you get. Take that and stick it in your knickers. Anyway, so.
She was found guilty.
So, okay. Can you imagine a court hearing?
Oh my goodness.
It's like they got to come in there with their powdered wigs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true.
Right? Looking all regal and stuff like that. And then hey, do you guys have a lice problem in Europe or something like that? A lice problem in the UK, where you still wearing powdered wigs? Why are you wearing the wigs, man? You don't need to wear that. It's because, of course, it's a show of wisdom. You got to show the wisdom and all that sort of stuff. So they're gonna be in it. And the thing is, man, you see some of them cats and they come in there with their wigs on, and they don't even try, man. They just put it on, and you can see like some of their hair, like kind of sticking out. You
pointed that out to me, yeah.
Like looking like where they wear those things like those hats that they put on. I think they're like Trump hats now. Where they have like the hair that's already in it, and it's like, dude, that's not their real. That's a hair in a hat, But they come in there. Can you imagine that though? They come in there with their all rise, sounding all regal and proper and whichever. We shall be hearing the case of the cyber farting. Stenographer, are you getting all that? Bailiff. Can you? They're doing all the courtroom protocols and stuff like that over the issue of farts. That would have made a great episode of The Young Ones, man. It's like I could see that.
Yeah.
That's what this sounds like. It sounds like an episode of The Young Ones or something like
it
that.
Does.
Or what other shows that they have that were comedy shows that they did. Anyway, yeah. So that's going on. And why this woman would do that?
Growling starfish. You can guess who put that in the chat.
I got a couple of people in mind. Grumpy starfish. Oh, he's such an angry little starfish. All right. All right. So I guess you guys get you got
So
the
she had, how long did she have community service?
That should be, that should be fun.
A 12-month community order and fines for sending the harassing fart selfies.
Yeah, and it's like, why, girl? Why? It's like you got your man now. I don't know. Was it an issue of the was the ex like still trying to like? Because I think this had also something to do with the kids.
Yeah, there's. It didn't go into huge detail, but it says there's bad blood between them, and something about issues of like child custody issues. So there must be a child between the ex and her current man.
Yeah, and it sounds like this little triangle has a lot of class to it, and
Yes.
it's probably an issue. Probably maybe what a big part of the fuss is that the dude and his ex, they got the kids together, and they most likely using their kids to hurt each other with.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff that can wear on somebody's nerves like pretty thick and really start to cause some beef. Because when it said that there were children involved, the first person I thought of was the person sending the cyber farts. I was like, she sounded like she the child.
Right.
It's like, woman, you got your man. What are you harassing this woman for?
Yeah.
Just maybe because, she's tired of this woman still being in their business somehow. And they're most likely probably using the kids, to do these things with. And it's got people acting like stupid. So hopefully they get it worked out. Work out your community
Hopefully they grow up.
Yeah, grow up. What else we got? Last one, y'all. Last one.
But we still have a musical challenge, and we had a question on the Bronze Serpent chat.
Okay, let's see. So let's go ahead and get through this. Get through this Super Bowl boycott. Doubles down on yeah. As you guys probably already know, that I'm not a big sports fan. I know that's hard to believe because of how much, just manliness I exude. It's really what causes the buffering. It's just so much, it takes so much bandwidth to handle my manliness. And I know it makes it very difficult to believe that I'm not a big sports fan. But NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, he gets to be Goodell, so may have just become the Rachel Zegler of the NFL due to Zegler's woke comments to the media over the last year or so. People have grown in dislike for her in the race swap Snow White movie coming out in March. Man, that thing is still coming out. I thought that thing was, it's like a zombie, man.
Yeah.
It's like a zombie just coming back from the dead. Okay, so did Goodell's comment just nuke support for the Super Bowl on the 9th of the month? Not a good look. Not to mention the massive wave of boycotts already in progress, which includes liberals. Why? They finally noticed all the rigging occurring in the NFL. This tweet says, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the league will continue their DEI policies. We got into diversity efforts because we felt like it was the right thing for the National Football League, and we're going to continue with those efforts. Wow. Talk about being tone deaf. Religion tends to be that way. And this whole DEI thing, y'all, this transgender, and y'all, believe me, it is a demonic religion.
Yes.
So probably not the best time to say this sort of stuff, Goodell. I mean, President Trump is chopping DEI left and right. The people hate DEI, and Super Bowl is this Sunday. I'm wondering, what is it that he thinks makes the NFL great? What ingredient? How is DEI a great ingredient? Is he going to talk about it? Is NFL? Okay, let me see. NFL commissioners are trying to think. Trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Are you going to make a good case for what makes the NFL great with DEI? I mean, effeminate. Who are the participants? Who are the DEI participants in the NFL? The only really, and y'all admit it, I'm serious. I'm ignorant on this because I really don't watch a lot of sports. I'm trying to give this cat the benefit of the doubt. It's like, make your case, man. Where is DEI shown where is it shown and where does it make it great in the NFL? The only place where I could see where DEI is being shown is in the freaking pep squad. That's it. It's like, okay, you got a bunch of gay cheerleaders, that I be seeing, and I don't even, do they have gay cheer or no, of course, if they're guys, they're most likely gay. But actually, sometimes guys go into cheerleading squads. Say, dude, hey, man, it's a good way to connect with the chicks.
That's true.
There is some of that, right? There's some time. I've never met these people. I've never seen these people personally.
Me either.
Okay, I've never seen that. When I remember when I was in high school. When I was in high school, if you wanted to be a cheerleader and you were a dude, yeah, they were gay. If you wanted to be I was in a marching band, and if you wanted to be on the color guard, gay. We call them flaggots. So all that to say, now, do they have men in the NFL? Like, is it, like you could do? I guess you could do. Yeah, you could do that stuff in high school. You could do that stuff in college. I haven't watched football enough to notice if they've got dudes on their pep squads or their cheerleaders. I've not noticed.
We don't watch enough sports to know.
I don't watch enough sports to know. But if they do, NFL aside, like college football and high school, that's the only place where I've really seen, DEI. And it's really something that people just kind of tolerate.
Yeah.
The guys come in handy, like when the cheerleaders want to do like the more of the aerial stuff, get the guys out there to be able to toss them up in the air and catch them and stuff like that, Yeah, I get that. Not really necessary. A lot of guys in the audience, they just want to watch the girls kick. It's just to do your kick, do those high kicks. That's what they want to see. It's like, whatever. You don't need a guy cheerleader out there to help you do that. And so
But the guys can lift them up, and then you can see under their skirts.
they kick high enough to be, they kick high enough to be able to do that anyway. It's already taken care of. Like I said, it's just one of those things that, okay, you just tolerate it, but I don't think, y'all, that the vast majority of the audience at the stadiums and stuff like that, I don't think they would miss you. Yeah, if there were no guy cheerleaders, I don't think you would be missed. Guy cheerleaders, let me put it to you like this. Guy cheerleaders are even less interesting than women's basketball. Okay, is that a fair comparison? All right, I'm not trying women's basketball. That's you got a market for that. I don't even know if women really watch a lot of women's basketball.
No.
And y'all, please don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying that there shouldn't be women's basketball. If there's a market for that where people want to watch it, and if you're able to fill a stadium enough to be able to do it, by all means do it. And if you got a passion to play basketball, play the basketball. But yeah, making that with the comparison of like male cheerleaders is like, y'all, I think there's even much less of an interest for that.
Yes.
So anyway, let's see.
Did you want to know his statement on what DEI does for the NFL?
Yes. Please enlighten me.
It's just as vapid as you might think it is.
I'll bet.
He says, listen, we got into diversity efforts because we felt it was the right thing for the National Football League, Goodell said when he was asked about the league's DEI practices. And we're going to continue those efforts because we've not only convinced ourselves, I think we've proven ourselves that it does make the NFL better. So we're not in this because it's a trend to get in or a trend to get out of. Our efforts are fundamental in trying to attract the best possible talent into the National Football League, both on and off the field. As I said previously, and we see that. We see now how it's benefited the National Football League, so I think we'll continue to use those efforts.
Okay.
He sounds like Kamala Harris. He just said a bunch of nothing.
Nothing, yes.
Nothing.
Well, okay, so I wanted to give him, as well as you just reading it, the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That I'm going to get something. I got nothing. I read that first part, and that's why I just figured, you know what? I'm not going to read any more of what he has to say because I know I'm not going to get anything. And that's why I started this whole long thing of like, what is the example of DEI? Show me where. And then we just read that thing. I tried. I feel like I wasted y'all's time just listening to what this person had to say. I'm sorry.
He says we've convinced ourselves.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, he certainly ain't convinced me. I'm like, what examples? Give me some examples of how DEI is demonstrated and how it makes anything better. So when you got these 220+ pound, flesh robots out there,
Yeah.
These tanks, that are able to slam into people, I'm not understanding how putting an effeminate man out there, or putting a woman, you want to put a woman out there, a woman like somebody like China, or put a woman. Is that what you would need to make it? I want to be on the football team with the guys. That still ain't gonna work out too good, but like you want to put like some dude who's just soft out there,
Yeah,
that's not going to make for good football,
absolutely not.
you know?
No, because the paramedics will have to be called out onto the field.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not going to make for good football.
yeah, that's not going to turn out good. So I don't know. I don't know enough about football, really. I really don't know enough about it to like, open up my line of thinking to what, where they would participate that would make this good, I know that, I don't know anything. I don't know.
The 1700s says, does the NFL want a piece of the disposable income of the gay communities? I think he's onto something.
That's a legit question. But it wouldn't just be the gay communities, because I mean, even homosexuals. I mean, it's the whole LGBT issue is just thrown in our face so much. It looks like excuse me. It looks like it's such a high population, but as the saying goes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. They're making a lot of noise, but they're a very small percent of the population. It's a small demographic, I guess, to make up for that kind of revenue. But I'm speculating.
Yeah.
And out of that, are a lot of them big sports fans?
Not that I've ever seen, but.
For that to even be a concern. However, it may not be just the homosexuals themselves, but the people who pander to them. You got a lot of people who would be sports fans, who are sports fans, who are open to this kind of stuff, or want to make themselves look virtuous. Want to make themselves look good. So they'll probably cater to this mindset, and that could be that's a demographic, I reckon, that they want to cash in on as well. So to your point, 1700, you raise a great point. It may not just be the homosexuals themselves, but the people they call allies.
Yeah.
Who want to make themselves look virtuous by, supporting this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
That'd be something to cash in on.
Yes. They want that middle-aged white lesbian money.
But I'm looking forward to you guys. You guys let me know like what the score was, and you guys can tell me how the game turned out and all that sort of stuff.
Well, we've been invited to a Super Bowl get-together.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll be washing my beard that day. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for. Oh no, I had some.
Yep.
We had some.
Two.
What do we got?
So Jello Burger, although I don't see him in the chat anymore, so hopefully you catch this. Jello Burger. Zoe, did I miss you talking about the Gaza Strip news? USA taking over, etc. We just didn't cover that. I apologize for my voice. I drank my tea when it was cold, so I don't think it's helping.
Well, because it cools off so fast.
Yeah.
We can't like reheat it. So
yeah, it's just not helping. We didn't cover that this week because I guess we weren't sure if it was really true yet or how it was going. But yeah, as you know, Trump has proposed that America, take over the Gaza Strip. And Netanyahu is like, yeah, let's discuss that. That might not be a bad idea. And then Trump wants to get the Palestinians out of there, relocate them. I think he was thinking Egypt, but nobody wants them. Nobody wants them.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he would do about that, but he is serious about this proposal. So
that's messed up, Egypt. Because the Philistines are your grandkids.
Oh yeah.
Philistines, y'all, is another word for Palash. And Palash is where we get Palestine. Philistine and Palestine is the same thing. Okay? And the Bible lets us know right off the bat that the Philistines, by way of the Casluhims, are descendants of Egypt. So this thing with the Philistines, it's been going on for a long time, y'all. Long time.
Wow.
Okay. and Philistines, the word actually relates to butthurt. It's that Philistine. The word Philistine means to wallow. It basically means to just wallow like a migrant.
Wow.
You just carry your butt hurt from one place to another. It's to wallow in misery, is what Philistine means, and that's what they're doing, ain't it?
That's prophetic.
They migrated into this area, took it over. In Palestine, you know, when we talk about that, don't get me started. That gets me into a whole other thing. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, y'all, people, you know, they act like this is something that, you know, they've already they're rising up a protest over, and they think that this is over some territory, you know, that I don't know, that has been since what 1948 or whichever, anything like that. No, y'all, this goes back thousands of years.
Yes.
Okay. And it has been the Philistines that have been in the wrong for thousands of years. Okay, going back to the time of the Philistines with their war with King David. Okay, this has been going around since then. All right, so with Trump, my concern, let me see what, if Trump is saying that he wants the United States, I mean, I guess, you know, if he did that, we couldn't be saying like, we just go in there, we just playing our puppet. It's like, no, we gonna take control of this area. Yeah. I mean, there's that, or it's one of those things where, man, you could just go ahead and let Israel do what it does, and they'll be able to take care of themselves. They'll go ahead and take care of the opposition just fine.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of times, you know, their hands get tied by this, you know, globalist faction that we have, you know, hindering them and making sure that their hands are tied when they're trying to defend themselves. But basically, you know, Trump is given the analogy of, you know, making the case of why he would do this. And, you know, as we've long understood, Israel is basically a stamp in a football field. Yeah. You know, Trump is basically giving the analogy of look, man, you see the tip of this pen? Yeah, that's Israel, and the rest of the desk, you know, is what they're surrounded by, you know. And I've long said, you know, speaking for myself, man, I've long said it's like, yeah, you got Israel, this small piece of territory surrounded by Islamic states. Okay, they're surrounded. Just talk about, like, you know, a very a small fish in a big pond. It's weird that you have these so-called Palestinians and their sympathizers. You have them complaining and trying to make it look like they're not asking for much. They just want this territory right here. You know, it's like, but you guys can't seem to make the correlation that Israel is just like, yeah, you see our little bit of territory that we have where we're surrounded by this huge body of Islamic states who want to wipe us off the map. All we want is our little bit of territory right here. Yeah. We just want our little Israel right here, and y'all won't let us have it. And while y'all are trying to complain about this little strip that you want.
That's so good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You guys are total hypocrites. This place, this is ours. Okay? It's like y'all don't even understand why you're calling yourselves Palestinians.
Right.
You don't even know. You don't even know the backstory of why you're Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this goes back to the Philistines. Palestinian Jews, the reason why they're called Palestinian Jews, and the reason why it's a pejorative, is because go back to what King David said. He called the Philistines the uncircumcised. All right, like when he was talking to Delilah, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Mm-hmm. Hey, that's what he called them. So basically, the uncircumcised ended up conquering the Jews. Okay, and the uncircumcised at this time and in this area became the Romans. All right, and the Romans basically called the Jews by who conquered them. That's why he would call the Jews would be called Palestinian Jews, right? You have this. That's why it's a pejorative. It's not an official state. It's not an official city. It was a claim made by Rome. You Palestinian Jews. I'm calling you Jews by the ones who have conquered you, the uncircumcised, right? You are subject of them.
Wow. So
this, with this Gaza Strip aspect and Trump coming in, it's like, okay. At this point, I don't know how to feel about it positively or negatively. But I would reckon that Netanyahu's an expert on it. And, I'd feel more better about if he acknowledged Jesus for who he says he is.
Yes.
That would be really helpful to y'all. It would give you more confidence in your discretion in terms of should the U.S., take that kind of position concerning Gaza.
And lighten the laws on Christians who proselytize over in Israel.
Yeah. What became of that? I think even Netanyahu was just like, man, we're not going to do that. Because I think they were trying to
crack down and basically make it illegal.
Yes, right? They were doing that, and Netanyahu's like, I'm not going to enforce that.
Last we looked,
right.
That's where he was going with it.
Okay. So hopefully, at least that got slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for your question, and I hope I know I rambled as far as that goes. I don't know if I gave you.
No, you gave a very good answer.
Okay.
History lesson.
I appreciate that. And I hope you appreciate it too. It is at least coming from a different perspective. Forgive me if I didn't answer your question directly, but at least I hope whatever I did offer, it was kind of interesting.
I thought it was. And he is in the YouTube chat now. He put that question in the Bronze Serpent Media chat, which is larger and easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What's the word on it? Is it working better, y'all?
I think Jay said, yeah. I think it is too. Certainly easier to see.
All right.
And 1700, you're in there a lot. What do you think of the chat? Is it more user-friendly? I think Jay said it was as well.
Excellent. All right. I did something good. Okay.
The 1700 says, is there a Philistine/Nazi connection?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even Hitler.
Or Palestine, sorry. He said Palestine, not Philistine, a Palestine/Nazi.
Same. just know that, bro. It's the same thing. And I would say yes, because Hitler was making allegiances with Islam. Their objective was the same. They wanted to wipe out the Jews.
Yeah.
This is going all the way back to Hitler was basically was Haman 2.0. All right, that's the I know a lot of people when they think Hitler, they're thinking white supremacy and I'm not saying that's not an element of it, but Hitler's his aspirations was to be the new Aryan race. Aryans were his inspiration. Y'all, and Aryans are the Iranians. Right? That's who the Aryans were. So when people think he wants to be this ultra white Aryan race, the white Aryan this and white Aryan that, and it's like Aryans, not white. Aryans, Aryans are Persian. And don't get me wrong, y'all, because they can come in different shades, from very fair skinned to dark skinned. The variations in color as far as that goes, but you got people out there, these fanatics who don't understand this whole Nazi narrative that they keep throwing at us and stuff like that, and they just think Nazi is all about white, blonde hair, blue eyes and whatnot, and this white characteristic in whichever. I guess for the very shallow. That's what they're limited to thinking, but Hitler's inspiration were the Aryans, and that's what he aspired to be. And the Aryans their features are going to vary, a lot. The bottom line is that they were they had this disdain for the Jews. And Haman definitely wanted to enforce that, and that's what Hitler wanted to follow up on. So Hitler actually used, despite all this, whiteness and everything white that Hitler is attributed to, that as far as these people go, Hitler really, from his standpoint, incorporated a lot of exotic ideas and themes and cultures into his ideology. Ideologies and symbolism from India, from Persia, from these Indo aspects of cultures and regions that he embraced, to form his ideology. So and once again, like you were saying, 1700, involving this Palestinian Nazi conglomerate, if you will. This was already there.
Yeah.
Hitler was making allegiances with Islamists. So, yeah.
And now, the music challenge. Music-ish challenge.
Music-ish.
It's related to music. Jay Thompson coming in with the challenge. Says it's been a while for the musical.
Oh, just really quick, got some new people coming in. Ghoulie Guards, hey, thanks for stopping in. Robert, Suzanne, all right, thank y'all for stopping in. Good to see you on Instagram. Let's get on back to the jam. All
Okay.
right.
It says it's been a while since we've had the musical-ish challenge, so I thought maybe something easy and nostalgic would be good to go out on.
That's it, gotta take it easy on me. Man, I'm supposed to be this awesome musician. Gotta take it easy on me with music trivia. I'm being a Philistine, my butt hurts. Anyway.
Wow. So for tonight's musical-ish challenge, Kenwood, Pioneer, or JVC, which made a better stereo system? And then we'll do a bonus question.
Now I'm really gonna sound like an idiot. Was that JBC or JBL?
JVC. That wasn't a typo, was it, Jay?
Just wanted to double check. Because while we're trying to figure that out, in terms of an audio system, I guess I would be partial to JBL. And now coming from, as a musician, I guess I'm more into executing the music. I'm more on that side of it, and I'm kind of like who just did an interview and he was just talking about this. Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. And Jerry's like, yeah, man, I play guitar. That's what I do. I am not a gearhead. I don't know anything. I do not touch the recording console. I don't know anything about it. I've got homies that do that for us. But in terms of all that audio gear, I don't know anything about it. He's like, I know nothing. I try and, it's like with my drums, trying to try to be familiar. It's a lot of times, people deal with their equipment and stuff like that. And it's like driving a car. You drive a car all the time, but you may not know that much about it, but you use it a lot. And it's the same thing, with people with their equipment. Certain occupations that you're going to be in, you really need to know your tools. But, like with my drums, I try to be as familiar with all the components of my drums as possible. But when it comes to like my guitars and my basses and stuff like that, I may not be as familiar like with all the components. When it comes to like more of the mechanical aspects of the guitar, I may be a little bit more familiar with. But when it comes down to the electronics of it, between my humbuckers and the pots that I'm going to use, I couldn't tell, like, say for instance, like, oh man, these are good pots, this is a good pot rig and how they're wired and things like that. And these are, this brand of humbuckers, whether they be Seymour Duncans or what's the other Seymour's? What's the other one? The two of the big ones. I want to say DiMaggio. Oh man, I'm probably butchering that name. I probably got some guitar players in the church say, "Oh, Jill, man, you're embarrassing me, bro." But between like I said, it could be those, whether it be soap bars, what kind of signal you're gonna get out of those, and ultimately what kind of output you're gonna get. I'm not an expert in those things. I think I got a pretty good idea. Or I'm getting there in terms of like what's gonna give me the kind of quality of sound that I want. And I'm just talking about the instrument aspect of it, using the instruments to execute the sound before I even get to the audio engineering aspect of it or the playback aspect of it. So in terms of like speakers that I use to like for my mixing, I have, because I want to be able to get that. Hey, what's it going to sound on? Like a person who hasn't really made a big investment, in their listening equipment. So I got a Bose set of monitors. Bose is pretty decent, but I know that it's not like the super. No, Bose the brand is great, but the speakers that I have from Bose is just pretty average. It's not like their top of the line stuff. It's just some a couple of average speakers. To kind of go with what people would most likely have and what they might be listening to. So I want to make sure it sounds good through those. My mixing speakers that I use are a couple of JBLs. And these things, they're highly praised, yet inexpensive, right? They're not inexpensive. I think they're a couple of 6-inch woofers, and about an inch diameter tweeters, and their sound projection is shaped in a way where it gets this really excellent stereo output. So that's what I'm using. I haven't tried. I can't tell you that I've had a really hands-on experience with really using Kenwood's. What were the ones that he named?
Kenwood, Pioneer, or JVC for a stereo system. And then you started talking about Bose speakers. The bonus question is, who made better speakers, Blaupunkt or Bose?
Okay, yeah. You've definitely got more experience with this sound output devices than I do. I've not even heard of what's it, Blaupunkt?
Blaupunkt.
Okay,
That's
I haven't
weird,
even heard of that. Sounds German, right? And hey, they making some good stuff, man. Well, I think Sennheiser, I think that's German. And then forgive me if it's not, if I'm getting that confused with something and saying the name wrong. Sennheiser, I think that's right. Their microphone systems, supposed to be really, really good microphones. Galen Kruger bass amps are they're really good bass amps too. But in terms of a stereo system, my JBLs, I'm pretty happy with them. But admittedly, I haven't given a lot of speakers their day in court. I think I just got lucky when it comes to the JBLs. I got them. That was what was available, and they were at a price point that I was okay with, and I just really wanted to get started, getting some music mix, and I got them, and they sounded. They already, for what I had already, I guess for my experience and for my level of understanding, they sounded decent to me, even from a very layman point of view in terms of audio expertise. But then I just got curious, and I decided, after a while of having them, I decided I would look them up to see, what the word on was them, because I was actually thinking about maybe I need to get some more speakers or something like that. And it turns out, no, you don't need to get more speakers. The series that you got, these JBLs, they got a lot of high praise. So I know that wasn't. I don't think that was in your inquiry, including JBL's. But that's what I have, and that's what I've had the most experience with. And I've had these bad boys for several years.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still cooking. And I turn the music up with these things, and they're holding it down. Yeah, sorry. Man, I feel like I got another. Like I got a D. I got a D on my quiz.
No, you gave how do you call it? Like an essay with it, explaining why you feel this way.
Explain.
The Jello Burger says, while we all listen to this via iPads and iPhone speakers, LOL. Less Than 3 Entertainment, aka Aircraft Sparky, says PV makes great speakers and on the cheap.
Yeah, you know, I haven't used PV in a long time, and not because I was disappointed with them or anything like that, but yeah, it was another one of those brands that they're out there. They held up pretty good. Not too expensive, and I don't see a lot of people use it, but I think PV it seemed like one of those great brands for if you're a local musician, playing in town, you're not playing in larger venues and stuff like that. PV filled up the room pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember owning a PC, but I know. I think the last time I really had PV was at a band that I had, like years ago, and you used to crank that thing up. It was what do they call it? 212 amp, 212 combo. Yeah, and it did a pretty good job.
Nice. What was it? The 1700 says my first bass amp was PV TNT 100.
Yeah, I think I remember that thing. Open C in the house.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Right. You get a little dizzy from the flashback there. It's 1700. Not only that, y'all, he had one of the funkiest basses. It wasn't a bass for funk. It wasn't really a bass for the funk, but it was a funky bass, right? And he had y'all ready for this? Y'all might be like, get ready for your I'm saying, yeah, dude. He had a Gibson RD. Yeah.
I'll Google it.
Gibson RD and that thing was heavy. Oh my goodness, it's all solid body. That thing was it was just a tank, man. And yeah, it was that thing was awesome. I miss that bass. But yeah, putting that thing, you can put that thing pretty much through any amp and it'll sound good. That thing was a banging piece of musical equipment. If you guys ever look up a Gibson RD, man, you'll see it. It's almost like I don't know. Somehow it's like if the Gibson RD was a plane, it would be like the SR-71.
Oh,
it was just
wow.
sexy, sleek, it was it's a rocking instrument, man. That's what it was. All right, so.
Wow. I know you weren't asking me, but when you typed in Pioneer for this question, it made me remember I had a Pioneer stereo system in my first car, and that system was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was so great, and it got stolen, and I was so heartbroken.
I remember, Pioneers were...
so great. And my dad had a couple of Pioneers as well, so I like Pioneer.
Yeah. Okay, so I do remember Pioneer speakers. Been a while. It's like one of those things. Did I ever use that But I don't think I was disappointed with those back in the day. And Brian's still with us here on Instagram. Thank you. And forgive me, y'all, because it's like I can't multitask that good, so I know it seems like I'm favoring the Instagram more than I'm. That's where CJ helps me out. She lets me know what y'all are telling on, and I'm trying, because I'm trying to grow my Instagram game. I'm trying to give some love on Instagram and get some too. Because because that shadow band has got me really bad. And yeah, Brian, indeed, the filter pedal can make a huge difference, turn an acoustic into a Strat sound, etc. I just got me. I was wanting to get me one of them Strat acoustics. And I heard, I think I've played a Strat acoustic. I didn't mind it too bad. I didn't mind Strat acoustic. It didn't really quite float my boat. It wasn't quite there, but I still wanted to have that kind of acoustic electric, or at least that kind of hollow body electric guitar. And I went with, I ended up going, I looked up Ibanez. Ibanez makes this Talman series of an acoustic electric. And it's cheap. It's a cheap guitar, but those who have given reviews on it, they love it.
Wow.
It's like, man, for the money, this is like, do yourself a favor and get one of these. I have better reviews on it than Fender's Strat acoustic. And yeah, indeed. Yeah, the quality of certain brands has gone up for sure. You can get a lower line, a lower series of musical instruments, and they're coming out pretty darn decent. I got a Jackson Dinky that I just picked up. I went into Guitar Center, and they had a Jackson Dinky in there, and they sell those for as low as like $200, and but they're not bad. They're pretty decent. It's like some of the components on it aren't finished very well. Like, the frets on them, they'll be leaning over the fretboard a little bit. You cut yourself on them things. I went and I just filed mine down. It's like one of those things where it's like, you get a pretty decent guitar, but you're just gonna have to do some finishing on it to get it, to where it's more playable and comfortable. But yeah, but that's one of their. It's not like one of Jackson's like flagship guitars or anything like that. It was still a pretty decent guitar. And like I said, I got one of my acoustic electrics. It's more of it's not a deeper body acoustic guitar. And it's got it's got a mic in it or a pickup in it and whatnot. And it's pretty darn decent. Yeah.
Nice. We'll go out on this. This is great. Jay Thompson says, shadow ban, turn it into the shadow band. Have your enemy win for you. The shadow band.
The shadow band. Yeah. I was thinking about even having like a Facebook page and use the term shadow band like a double entendre. We're a band of people. A band of us.
Yeah.
That have been shadow banned, the shadow band, but I couldn't get enough people to find the page, so it was just kind of fun, even to go along with the page. And yeah, indeed, Brian, Ibanez. I like playing Ibanez. The guitars that I really like to play most, and sorry, I'll say this and I'll let you guys, get on, enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're not really enjoying it now.
I was going to say, this is enjoyable.
All right. Yeah, that's good to hear. So the guitars, I think at the top of my list, I think I like playing Ibanez the most. I should be playing more, but I think I'm more partial to Ibanez. Ibanez is one of those things where if it's good enough for George Benson, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I really like Ibanez, but sometimes it just depends on the mood that I'm in, though. Because I got an Ibanez, I got my ESP. There's ESP and LTD. They're same makers. I really don't know the big difference. It's kind of like I think LTD is to ESP what Epiphone is to Gibson. I think that's how that works, or what Squier would be to Fender. I think is that a fair comparison? And either one of those guitars, I think they're not too bad to have. I mean, of course, you're going to get more of your I think better quality with your US Strat, and if you just get a straight Gibson or whatnot. But if you got an Epiphone, I think you're still pretty in pretty good shape. And Squiers, there's people out there who swear by their Squiers, man. It's like, man, heck no, this is a good guitar. But for me in my arsenal, I got my Ibanez. I got a few Ibanez. I got my ESP. Got me. I have a Gibson. Those are pretty much what I lean toward. I'm no virtuoso or anything like that, or really like a ardent guitarist. But I do like to write music, and that's pretty much what I use. And like I said, Ibanez, George Benson. If it's good enough for George Benson, yeah, it's good enough for me. I got my Ibanez. I got my Prestige. I really like that thing. And I got my Iceman. I really like that thing. So yeah. All right.
Why don't you have your guitars or your drums in the background?
Oh, you know what? I gotta figure out how I'm gonna work this out, y'all. Because right now, since I'm doing the Zoloft, I've got my partitions up to cover up the Zopium Den set, which is I'm still tweaking some things. I'm still tweaking some things on it. And when I have the Zopium Den set up, I got a couple of my guitars, and I got my drums. I got my bass on display, and I have my electric acoustic on display with that one. And when I do the Zoloft, when I rotate the stage in the Zoloft, you'll see I'll have my I got a Yamaha bass that I'll have on display, and I'll probably most likely have my Jackson Dinky on display with that one, because the motif and the colors of it will all it'll look good together. Yeah. But because I'm moving around so much in here, and I'm working in my workshop, I don't have my guitars out because I'm clumsy and I don't want to knock them over. So
good answer.
Yeah, I don't. They're not hung up on the the wall mounts or anything like that. It's steel, so I haven't really drilled any holes or anything like that to hang them up on the walls. So they're in their guitar stands. So right now they're in their cases, so they're not just collecting just out for me to trip over or collect dust or anything like that, because I haven't really been able to focus on writing music. I haven't even really been able to practice that much. I practice some. Yeah. I try to stay on it, just try to stay oiled up, man. But I don't get to hit as much as I'd like. And God willing, I'll be able to get back and do that, and I'll be able to produce some more music. But yeah, to answer your question, that's why.
Nice.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are such a blessing to let me just share what's on my mind with you concerning things going on. And you guys have a very groovy rest. It's almost time to say groovy rest of your morning, depending on what time zone you're in. And we will do it again. Hopefully you guys will get well refreshed and rested over the weekend. And, we'll kick it again in the Zoloft. All right, y'all. Blessings. Bye.